So let's look and take a deeper dive on the issue of insufficient sleep. Insufficient sleep is by far the most common sleep problem. And with sufficient sleep, we think most human adults need between 7 and 8 hours, plus or minus an hour or two. So it's not uncommon for an adult to need 9.5 hours of sleep every night to be at their best. I want you to think back to those 5 areas that we think sleep really impacts our quality of life. We've got physical health, mental health, physical performance such as driving, cognitive performance, and then emotional intelligence. Take a moment right now, pause, think to yourself, which of those 5 areas is most sensitive to sleep loss for me? Keep a hold of that, and we'll check in with you on that in a few minutes. So when you're thinking about insufficient sleep, sometimes people tell me, oh, well, I'll just catch up on the weekend. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Paleo, has a great analogy where he says, would you go without enough food Monday through Friday and think, that's fine, I can just eat more on the weekend? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. And sleep is the same thing. We need to get the amount of sleep that we need every single night to be optimally functioning. I'd like you now to take another pause. Think back to a time when you were really at the top of your game. Your brain was clicking along well, you were in a good mood, you were enjoying your life, you were very physically coordinated, had a great reaction time. How much sleep were you getting at that point? One thing that gives you a clue that you're not getting enough sleep is if you're using your alarm clock. If you're using an alarm, that means that you were sleeping and you could have slept more, whether it's an actual alarm or if it's a family member or pet that wakes you up. If anything is waking you up to start your day, that means you need more sleep. So I'd like you all to take a challenge now, and that is to think about, now that you've thought about what sleep you do best with, to create a schedule that allows you the number of hours that you need. Is that going to bed a little bit earlier? Is it getting up a little bit later? Maybe a combination of both. Create the schedule that allows you to get the sleep that you need, and then stick to it for 10 days, 2 weeks, and at the end of that 10 days or 2 weeks, check in with yourself. That area that you identified that is most sensitive to sleep loss, did that improve? My guess is that it will improve, and then you're going to be in the power seat. You can make the choice. Is it more important to you? Does it add more to your quality of life to get the sleep that you need, even though it might be a little bit of a shorter day? Or, is watching TV and hanging out and doing gaming on the computer adding more to your quality of life? Whatever choice you make is fine, but you at least have the information that you need to make a good decision. Sometimes people get into the situation where they're really making a value judgment on how much sleep a person needs and thinking, oh, well, I'm better because I only get 6 hours, whereas this person must be some negative judgment because they're getting 8 or 9 hours. And that makes as much sense as making a value judgment based on how tall someone is. Taller people are not necessarily better. Shorter people are not necessarily better. Someone who sleeps a shorter amount of time is not necessarily better than a person who sleeps a long period of time.